Great. Happy New Year, everybody. We're back. Playoff time.
What do you tell your team? I mean, you've got guys that experienced a playoff game last year, but you've got more experience. What do you think?
Well, I think the great thing about the playoffs is there's only 12 teams left, and the great thing is we're one of those 12, and it really comes down to just having a fresh start, new season, just really just trying to be great on the road, trying to be great in execution. That's what it comes down to. Trying to have a good start and have a great finish. So I think that's really what it comes down to. It's nothing magical. You have to make your plays when they're there. Everybody will be amped up and everything else, just in general. The team that can focus and settle down the quickest, the team usually does the best.
Statistically, the last time you played in Philly, it wasn't a great game for you. When you look back at that, what do you see and how do you evaluate that?
Well, I think we missed a couple opportunities, and if we hit those, it changes the circumstance of the game. I thought we battled. They're a great defense. They got a lot of great players. They're championship style of defense. They've got guys who've won it before, so they really know what they're doing. So I think for us, we got to stay on schedule. We got to execute, and just when it comes down to making plays, we got to make them.
You guys, the wind might be a factor again, like it was in November. What did you learn about throwing in that wind?
It wasn't really a factor except for the one play I had in the right corner. Kind of got away from me, but I think more than anything, just getting out there, make sure you're doing your throws, doing that thing. But I like I said, I think that we had a couple opportunities down the field. I missed the throw on that one, which is rare. And then we had the deep post that we tried to hit. We just missed that one. So. I think hitting those two, it changes the game, and it's a new game. It's a new start. It's going to be the win may be a little bit different. I don't know. You just go out there and play football. I don't overthink it.
Even though you guys didn't get the win on Sunday, how much momentum can you take off the way you played as an offense in the second half?
Well, I think we played great in the second half. I thought that we really were great on third downs. Guys can convert and getting first downs. But the line did a tremendous job against a very good defensive line. They did a great job against those guys, and they really know how to get after the quarterback. And so this team's gonna be very similar. Great defensive line. They got great rush package and all that. And so we got to slow those guys down. And that's what we were able to do in the second half. So hopefully we can transfer that into this postseason and do a great job with that.
Do you have a thought on why you guys have been so good on the road this year?
I don't know. I don't think some teams worry about playing on the road. I don't think we do. I think we have great fans that travel usually. That's always been fun for us after games and before games and everything else. The Seahawks fans travel really well. But I think we have great experience. I think the leadership across the board, is there for sure. Guys like Bobby and guys like KJ, Marshawn's back, so that'll help too. And I think just to be able to settle down on the road is key, and just realize it's just football. It's the game that we love, it's the game that we prepare for, and hopefully we can transfer that in a tough environment going to Philly. It was tough the first time, and they'll be doing their thing the second time too, and so the fans and stuff. So we got to be really zoned in and just locked into the moment.
You feel like you should be running more than you are?
I think our running backs have been doing great all year. To be honest with you, we've been handing off to Chris Carson and guys like Penny. I'm always looking to throw the ball when I'm scrambling and stuff like that. But there's times where I'm trying to escape and get a few first downs. So I just play the game how the game's played. I don't think ahead of time of what I'm trying to do and all that.
How much time did you spend this week kind of cleaning up whatever led to the delay to make sure that doesn't happen again Sunday?
Well, we just practiced it just now, just to get the similar rep. So just make sure that we rep that and make sure that we execute on that. So we did that in there, and so hopefully we can use that if we're in that situation again.
What have you seen from John Ursua, depending on injury situations, if he has to play more? Just what have you seen out of him in practice?
Well, John's been great, all season. He's been getting those reps. He's been great just preparing. His focus in the meetings, his focus out in the field when he's working out in the field is he's just relentless when in his preparation. So that's been great for us. He's obviously super talented. I think he was the number one touchdown scorer the year he came out of college. So just to think about all the things that he can do, his production in college and how that can transfer here, and he's so quick at the top of his routes. He knows how to get open. He understands the game plan. You guys saw him in the preseason. He was making a lot of great plays. So he's been a tremendous football player for us. So if he gets in there and makes plays, we won't be surprised. He knows how to do it.
What did tempo do for you guys against the Niners in that second half?
Well, I think tempo's key. Anytime we can keep the tempo going, in and out, slow it down, speed it up, just to make sure that we're maximizing our plays, putting the pressure on the defense and all that. I think that helps. But also we know how to slow it down and run the football too, and use the clock and do all that too as well. So I think to have that versatility is definitely essential to success on offense, I think.
John, I mean, obviously you threw to him in a really key situation. That's the first catch of his career. I know you've always said you just kind of throw to who's ever's open, but I mean, do you ever think about that? Like, this guy's, as that play's unfolding, like, John's never caught a pass before, and here he might
I have all the confidence in John. Just training with him in the offseason, he was, great. We were on the same basketball team together too. We were 14-0. We lost the last one, but we were 14-0. I got all the confidence in him. He's a confident guy too. He knows what he's doing. Like I said, we've just had so many receivers. He hasn't had the chance to get up, and finally he got up last week. And when he got in there, when I was scrambling outside the pocket, and there he is, and just let it rip, and and he made a great catch, and we almost got in there, in that play, and so. I think that, like I said, there's no hesitation when it comes to, John. He's just a tremendous football player, tremendous athlete, knows the game, plays it really well.
The tempo that you were just talking about, is that something where you're kind of best suited to pick your spots? Because some people will look at that and say, well, you guys always move the ball well when you go up tempo, but do you have to kind of pick your spots as to when you do that?
Yeah, I think you have to be smarter when you're trying to, go up tempo, and and I think, but also at the same time, I think we do it really well. We've done it historically extremely well. It's something that we we try to pride I try to pride myself on, and just our offense in general. But you also got to know the situation, what the score is in the game, what you're trying to do. At the end of the day, you're trying to win the game, so you got to know when to do it and when not to do it. You got to know what their offense is doing too, and what the score is. And so there's a lot of scenarios there.
Can you feel the defense tiring when you guys go up tempo?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one of the things that definitely helps. The defensive linemen, they're so athletic, they're so fast, but to get several plays in that's the great thing about sustaining drives, getting third downs, staying up tempo. Those guys wear down a little bit, and so that I think that definitely helps for sure.
It seemed like when you played them last time, it was feast or famine. When they blitzed you, they got 5 of their 6 sacks on blitz. But when you got the ball off, you had a lot of success. So that's just a matter of when you make that first guy miss, now you have the advantage.
Well, that's the great thing about there's two ways to look at it, and some quarterbacks don't like pressure and all that stuff. I've always, I've always liked pressure, just in the sense that sometimes it's great too. I love sitting back there just hanging out too when they're not pressuring, but sometimes it's nice too when they're pressuring, because once you hit it, there's a lot of green grass. I've always said that to you guys, and so the key is making sure we hit those plays, and if we can do that, that's the challenge in this game. They have great defensive line, great linebackers. They do a lot of things. Their safeties are really talented too as well. Jenkins is all over the field. McLeod is a tremendous football player. They got a lot of great guys on their defense, and they know how to do it. So, and Coach Schwartz, he's a great coach. He knows how to call plays and knows how to pressure and change it up and do all that. So, I think for us, it's staying poised, just staying in the next play, and just lock it in the next play. There's gonna be ebbs and flows of the game, and that's standard, that's typical, and that's playoff football. That's just football in general. And so, if we got to be able to weather the storms. There's going to be some moments in there, and hopefully they're all great ones. But there's going to be moments in the game where we got to know, when to capitalize, when to chill out and just keep playing football.
Jermaine Kearse was on the radio today with Averill, and he was talking about how emotional you seem on the field and pumping your guys up now. And he made the comment, he said, wow, where did that come from? But I like it. So are you different now on the field now as a veteran as maybe you were when Jermaine was playing with you and you're a younger guy?
I think that, I think for me, I've always believed that you trying to play with, great emotion, but not being emotional. There's a difference. I think you can be passionate. You can be passionate in moments. I get passionate when moments happen, right? But try not to be too high, too low throughout the whole game. And just I think that just naturally has grown and come, and it's part of I love the game. I love winning. That's really at the end of the day. I think I've done that before, where I'm pretty fired up at the end of games, and when the game's on the line, and all that kind of stuff. That goes way back. That goes way back since I was a little kid playing Little League. But throughout the game, I just try to be I try to be focused and dialed in, and so I think our team feeds off of that a little bit too. So I think it's just a natural part of the game.
You barked a little bit at the official on the slide late in the game when you didn't get the call. Do you think you're officiating differently than other quarterbacks?
I don't know. I don't want to get into that too much, but and all the stuff behind it. But I definitely try to get down, and I try to slide. I try not to take wicked hits or anything like that. And sometimes you'll get a little elbow, a little extra. So I don't know. I just I want to play the game tough. I'm going to play it tough. And also try to play it smart. It's their decision to make it. But there's a couple in there that seemed a little bit late.
Here 10. Pete, sorry. Pete's been here 10 years now. You've been here for 8 of them, so you've gotten to know him really well. But when you first got here, or maybe even in the pre-draft process, what were your early impressions of him?
Oh man, I watched Coach Carroll. Ever since I was a little kid, I remember watching the national championship games and just observing him. I remember all the stuff he did in the community in LA for all a lot of inner city kids and just a lot of different things that he did. I remember watching the stories on him and growing up in Richmond, Virginia. Being all the way in LA, I remember watching that and feeling like I was experiencing greatness when I was from a distance of Coach Carroll. And not much has changed on my opinion from that. I think the first time I ever met Coach Carroll, the first thing he talked about was just going for it, and just believe. He said, I believe in you. You got a chance to do it. I remember when they called me and they drafted me too. I remember that was kind of one of the first things he said to me. And I think, I already knew that. I already knew I was going to go for it. But I think for me and him, I think that we share that same sense of belief, and I think that's always been great. And we're very similar in that sense. We have a lot of similarities, but in that sense in particular, I think we share that same commonality of just really going for it and just believing it. I think going against just beating odds and trying to be where we are today, 8 years later, it's been a special ride. Not too many quarterbacks and coaches have done it before, and I think we've been fortunate to be able to be in the midst of that process right now, in the midst of the journey. And I think the key is just enjoying the journey. He's consistent every day, Coach Carroll. Brings great energy, great focus, great confidence to everybody. All his coaching staff and us as players, and just to our organization. So he's been tremendous in that way.
When your final pass to Hollister Sunday went incomplete, did you expect to see a flag?
The final pass or the one before that?
Well, the one before, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I thought there was going to be a potential flag on that one. It seemed like he was holding them pretty good. But, that play's over. We went on to the next play. We had a chance to win the game there, and we didn't. So that was unfortunate. We were, an inch away, maybe even less than that, So, it was a great game. You got to give them a lot of respect. The 49ers, they've had a great year. It's been a battle back and forth. Those two games, just those two games that we played back and forth were, instant classics. And we have this game right now in front of us, and that's our focus now is just trying to go on the road in a tough environment, going to Philly, making sure we're prepared today, and then move on to tomorrow, and then get to this weekend and hopefully put on a great performance.
Are you curious, Russell, on kind of which unsung hero will step up in the playoffs, or which side character will step into the spotlight here in the postseason?
Well, yeah, it's always great when you get to the postseason because hopefully your great players play great, and hopefully the guys who people don't fully know yet show up and become great, and people really recognize who they are. There's a lot of those guys who I believe can be that way. I believe a guy like Malik is one of those guys. Malik Turner, he's been special all year. You saw Homer this past week and how he played. He played a great football game. So hopefully he can be one of those guys. There's a lot of players, and so at the end of the day, it comes down to execution, and hopefully we can do that.
Do you expect Malik to go this week?
I don't know. I'm just using him as an example. I don't know what his situation is. I'm sure Coach will figure that out. But hopefully he can go. That'd be great if he can. He's been a great player for us all year. But I was using as an example guys like Malik and Homer and Joey Hunt's been a guy who's stepped up for us. We're going to need him to step up in the playoffs in a big way. So there's just so many different players. Diggs has been special for us. Thinking about him coming here and all the things he's been able to do. Hopefully, he'll officially be able to go. Hopefully, and so there's different players. And so hopefully we can show up and show out.
Can you take anything out of your crazy good record in close games this year into the playoffs when games are usually closer than they are in the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of close ones this year, but we've won a lot of them. I think to be able to win games when they're close at the end of the game and having that confidence that we will, that's a great feeling. I think that we've had that across the board all season, and we want to be able to establish that. I think to have that silent confidence and poise. And I think hopefully, the other teams feel that too. That's the reality. And I think everybody who's watching, they feel like, uh-oh, And so I think that's just through experience and us being able to accomplish a lot of those wins and find ways to do it throughout the whole time that we've been here, and it's been special. But it doesn't mean anything. It's right now. It just means one game, and we got to win that game, and that's the focus. But hopefully, we can use that experience and use that knowledge and understanding, that confidence to hopefully help us win it.
That fourth down play where Marshawn got stopped. When you look back on that on tape, was it just not protected right or blocked right, or do you feel like maybe that was a play you could have maybe checked out to a pass given the look they gave you?
We were running it there. I think that they made a great play. I think it was Bosa, if I remember right. He made a great play. He kind of backed us up into it, and they got their pressure and made a good play. We're trying to hand the ball to him and get him a first down. So, his physicality is always great for us. So, we're going to try to get him the football.
What's the worst thing you ever heard from a Philly fan?
Worst thing I've ever heard? Oh man, I don't really know. I haven't had too many crazy things, but I'm sure there's some stuff out there. I try not to pay attention too much. I try to keep my headphones on when I'm warming up, and when I'm in the game, I just try to zone out. So, Philly's. I grew up on the East Coast, so it's always great going to Philly for me, just because I get to see so many family and friends and people at the games and stuff like that. So, always afterwards, it's always a fun thing. So, like I said, it's going to be a tough environment. We know they're going to be going crazy, the fans, and they've always been great. I remember watching them growing up, watching Donovan McNabb and so many other great players play for them, and just the matchups and the games, and it's a great environment to play football. And and if we're going to go anywhere, it's going to be a cool one to play. Just in that environment, it's a tough one to play, and hopefully we'll be ready to roll.
When you and Ursula had a 14-0 basketball team, what group beat you?
Oh man, it was DK and who was the other player? I'm trying to think. DK hit the winning shot, and it was last second. I think I knocked his ball in too. I was shooting, and boom! And so that was a heartbreaker.
Who's the best player on the team?
Basketball player?
Cooper, yeah.
Bobby Wagner's really good. JU's really good. John, he's really, really talented. He can really shoot. There's some good ones. We got some good players, but people say Bobby. I don't think John and Bobby have played each other or anything like that. Obviously, Bobby's physicality on John is going to be a little different, but JU's pretty quick. He's got a good shot.
What's your relationship with Carson Wentz?
Carson and I've gotten to know each other over the years. Obviously, I think we share a lot of similarities in faith and all that, and but also I just have loved watching him play. He's been tremendous ever since he walked into the National Football League. He's got a great demeanor to him, got great confidence. What he's been able to do with this football team, even this season throughout the struggles and the battles and overcoming and even the injuries, very similar to us. We've had some tough injuries and stuff like that. Just to be able to overcome it, he's been great. He's been tremendous. He does it with class. So I really enjoy being around him, and we've gotten to know each other just off the field too a little bit. So like I said, he's a great player. He's going to be great for a long time.
How's Marshawn look in week 2, Russell?
Say again?
How does Marshawn look in week 2?
He looks great. He had a great first week. For him to step in there and just to watch him dive over that pile for the touchdown was pretty special. Marshawn looks great.
Anything else?
Yeah, sorry. You talked about the opportunity for other guys to step up, like in this playoff game. How do you create that clearing? Do you say something, or you just the way that you handle yourself and the veterans handle themselves?
I think you say stuff, but I think it's your approach. I think it's how you tune it up just a little bit. How you focus on the huddle. Making sure guys are paying attention in the back. Just even the young guys. It's a time to be relaxed. There's a beautiful balance of being relaxed. In my opinion, of watching some of the greatest athletes and some of the greatest teams is there's a beautiful balance of being relaxed and poised and having this quiet confidence, but also being so zoned in and so focused, nothing can distract you. I think that's the magic to it. And some people love it, some people can do it, and some people can't. And I think we have the guys and the team that can do it for sure.
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you guys. Go Hawks. Yep.